working? Perfect.
Yeah, I think we're starting to get set up. Okay, well, you sound excellent. I think I'm probably pretty close to you, though. I'm over here just off of, I don't remember, Stoll and something. I'll have to look.
Oh, yeah, I'm over here, not too far from the Donovan overpass.
Okay, yeah, I'm on pretty much on the corner of Stoll and Blosser. I do when I'm going up Stoll, you know, from about Blosser all the way up to the 101. The noise is horrendous, man. The only thing I can hear in my receive is all those power wires. But it really is just that little area over there. It's quiet where I'm at.
Hello, Roger. You're sounding good. Sounds like you're in my backyard.
Yeah, 10-4. Yeah, you're barefoot, you said, huh?
Sorry?
Did you say you're barefoot right now?
Yeah, I just got my, I have a Galaxy DX 2547 base. That's basically what I talk in. I have a 148 to 29 I switch up once in a while. But yeah, I'm barefoot.
Okay, yeah, you sound like you're next to me, so you're definitely doing a good job.
Thank you, sir. I got you. All right, I'm going to get back. Let's jump in there and see who else comes up.
You still out there, Triple?
Yep. Yeah, I'm just barefoot too. Not running nothing but about 2 watts.
Okay. Yeah, I was getting ready to ask. Last time I was kind of in between some buildings and I wasn't getting you in like I normally was. Today I'm kind of in a weird spot too. So I wasn't sure if you were barefoot or if I was just in a really, really bad spot.
Nope, we're just hanging out barefooted. Got our toes in the sand.
Toes in the sand, that's the way to do it.
So how long you here just today and then you head back out?
Yeah, last time we were here, we were actually supposed to stay until morning, but they ended up getting us loaded early, and so we took off that night. Today, unfortunately, it's not going to be like that. We'll be here probably, I don't know, I probably won't get loaded until midnight or 1 a.m. tonight. We were working until almost 1 a.m. this morning, so we're kind of on that schedule now. But yeah, this one, the load we're getting tonight is going to be kind of late, so we'll be getting out of here sometime tomorrow.
Yeah, Roger, what are you picking up?
Well, I'm over here at Fresh Venture picking up a bunch of mixed vegetables.
Oh, Roger. And you're heading back to where?
Yep, head back out to Kingman, Arizona. It's literally from where I'm sitting, it's 445 miles, so it's not a real long day. You know, it's a nice little trek, but it's not too bad.
Yeah, Roger. Right on. All right, well, I'm going to jump out here and see if anybody else wants to get in there and yabber at you. So, you have a good day, Bobby Boucher, and heck yeah. Next time you're in town and you're here for a weekend, let us know and we'll fix up the barbecue.
Yeah, 10-4, man. You know, we talk about that every once in a while. Man, we would love to be able to do that. It's tough, but we might get lucky. Could get the time, and we'll definitely hit you guys up for that.
Roger. All right, Bobby Boucher, I got to jump out for a little bit, so you have a good day, and get talking at you. We'll get out of here before you leave.
10-4-000. Okay, we'll talk at you in a bit. We'll be on the side reading the mail.
Hey, Bobby Boucher. I just turned the radio on and heard your voice out there, and so you're back in town again. Good to hear you up in there.
Is that Mr. Motormouth Mall?
Yeah, 10-4. I'm out here in the mud, though. I'm in the Mobile.
10-4, where are you at?
Just heading over to the ranch, over here off of Dominion Road, east of you by, if you're where you were before, probably about 8 miles away.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if you were going to be out there or not, but yeah, we'll be out here the rest of the evening for sure. Did you say you're going up to the ranch right now?
Roger, but I'm going to take a little detour. I'm going to kill some time here for a little bit, because if I get too close to the ranch, I'm going to hammer on the water gate, and then I would have to talk on the base radio, and I'd rather talk on the mobile right now. So anyway, I'm going to just drive around in a circle real fast out here, and then I'll head over to the ranch, and maybe I'll turn the base on. I don't know.
Yeah, 10-4. Yeah, last time I was here, I think I was, I looked at when you gated me on the SDR, I think I was 280 hertz below the fundamental frequency, whatever it is. And so I actually realigned the radio a few days ago, and I was curious to see how close I am to being on frequency.
Oh, Roger, it sounds good. Well, I can't tell you with me in the Mobile here, but I can tell you when I get to the base. My Mobile, I think, is a little bit low on frequency as well. About the same as you were before. But I know my base radio is a little bit low on frequency. I think it's at 20. It's like, I don't know, about the same as you were low. So, I don't know. I suppose one of these days I'll open it up and correct that situation, but it's not really a big deal.
Yeah, 10-4, I agree. You know, it's AM, it's not sideband, so a couple hundred hertz really isn't going to be noticeable, but yeah, I saw it and I thought, you know, what the hell, I'd go in there and pop it open. It wasn't too difficult, and try and get it a little bit closer. I've only got a 6-digit. I got one of those little dozy 6-digit frequency counters. Yeah, I mean, you really do need 8 digits to get it really, really accurate. But again, this is AM, so 6 digits is going to be good enough. And I just went in there and bumped it up about I think close to 200 hertz. But I'm not really sure.
Roger. Well, it sounds really good here. And I would never know the difference between a couple hundred hertz and the Mobile, but the audio sounds phenomenal. So that I can tell.
Yeah, 10-4. Well, you're sounding excellent. Now, did you are you bandpassing your audio now, or is it still pretty much broadcasting across 40 channels in that Mobile?
I don't think I've ever bled over 40 channels. I should only be on this one channel there, Breg.
Oh, 10-4, yeah, on the gate. I mean, you filled up the whole screen. I think on the gate, what you can see on that SDR when you're shooting the videos, what does it show? Like 4 channels total width out there, you know, on the screen that's viewable? 4 channels or something like that?
Oh, yeah, just shy of 40 kilohertz. And that was my base on there. I don't think that was my Mobile. That was my base. Or was my Mobile on that one? I don't know. Anyway, severe front-end overload had a lot to do with that. Now, if you listen to either channel on either side, you'll hear nothing from my Mobile there, Break.
Yeah, I'm starting to lose you. I'm starting to get out there a little ways. I'm kind of in a spot, and I'm pointing the wrong direction, too. I should probably try to figure out a way to get this truck turned around so I'm pointing your direction.
No, I'm in an RF hole. I'm over here on Clark Avenue, you know, where Clark intersects Dominion Road. There's a RF hole over there. And as I get going westbound over here on Clark Avenue, you'll hear me a little bit better. I'm driving back the 4-foot-tall, 5-foot-tall pot plants at the moment. You can see them, man, they're growing big. It's amazing. They got them growing all the way down to the road. You know, about 5 feet from the road, maybe. No, 20 feet from the road. But yeah, there's no, I don't think they're actually cannabis. I think they're actually hemp. Or they would have them guarded a little bit better. They're not really guarded at all.
Yeah, 10-4. It's probably hemp. It's hard to tell the difference. I mean, I'm not an expert. I mean, unless you see the buds, I think it's probably going to be hemp. But, yeah, if it's not guarded, then that's probably what it is.
Yeah, I think even hemp has buds, right? And males and females. I just think they breed them in such a way to where the THC content is extremely non-existent or low compared to the ones they breed for cannabis, which is quite high. I forget what the level of, there's a specific level of cannabis that you cannot exceed so that you can still call it hemp. And if you exceed that level of cannabis, then it's no longer hemp. But I don't know how all that works. Anyway, I just know that if it's unguarded, it's probably not cannabis.
Yeah, 10-4. Yeah, I think you're right. I guess you'd have to have buds on hemp as well. Otherwise, wouldn't be any seeds to, keep the generations going.
Yeah, 10-4. And I don't think they worry about killing off the males. Like when they're doing cannabis, they kill off the males to prevent the females from having seeds and wasting energy in producing seeds, so they get a higher THC content. And with hemp, I think they let them both exist. And like you say, to promote more seeds, to create more hemp. So yeah, I think that's how that works. Anyway, something to that effect.
Yeah, 10-4. Yeah, that sounds about right. It's been so many years since I've even messed around with any of that stuff. I started my driving career and all that 20-some-odd years ago. So when I was younger, though, I probably knew a little bit more about it. But yeah, everything you're saying sounds about right. And by the way, that mobile sounds excellent.
Roger, thank you much. Yeah, I'm now at 101 in Clark and just headed northbound on 101 here. And I've got the windows down, and I'm sitting at about 65 miles an hour right now. And I don't know how much background noise, road noise, or any obstructional type noise you hear in the background, but I'm going to probably pull off the freeway and come to a halt here for a second, and then carry about my loop and then head over to the base station. So I'll do the big loop. I'll probably go up to Beta-Arabia, then back out Beta-Arabia, then back over to the base again. That should give me plenty of time away from the base.
Yeah, 10-4. Now, what mic are you using?
This is the Shure SM58 with a hole drilled in the side and a push-to-talk button mounted in the side of the mic.
Yeah, 10-4. Yeah, that's innovation right there. Yeah, the SM58, man, that's a famous studio mic. Yeah, it sounds good. Dynamic mic. It's definitely doing the job. Yeah, you should be picking up a bunch of background noise. I don't hear it, though. I mean, it's hard to tell because I'm still getting some static in with the transmission because of the distance and where I'm at. But if somebody else is closer, they'd probably be able to tell you if they can hear any background noise.
Yeah, 10-4. Well, now I'm parked, and my mic gain was about 1/8 of an inch open, and now I'm going to turn the mic gain up just a little bit more. Hopefully not too much, but enough to give you a little bit more audio. So anyway, there's the park mode, but I can't drive like this, or I know I pick up lots of road noise.
Yeah, 10-4. No, you definitely came up. That gave it more body. It richened up the audio. Sounds a little fuller. It definitely sounds good.
Sure. Well, let's see here. With it like it is, let me back it down just a little bit more. Like this right here, I'm going to go ahead and drive now and see what happens. I'm going to take the northbound route here and run over to Beta-Arabia and then cut across back over to the ranch. So I'll see what this sounds like. I'm getting on the throttle here and getting on the on-ramp. Windows are still open and waiting for these slow people to get out of my way. I'm only going 45, 55, 60, 65. There you go. Speed, windows wide open, and see how much background noise you hear.
Yeah, I can definitely start to hear.
Is it really objectionable, or is it not too bad?
It's actually not too bad.
Well, I'm going to knock it down just a little bit, right like that, right there. Just a little bit of a decrease in gain. We'll see what that does. And then I'm going to roll the window up. That won't make a lot of difference because most of the noise is low-frequency chassis noise, more so than wind noise. But anyway, now the window is up, and I turned the mic gain down just a little bit. Sure. Good deal. And then I'll go barefoot. You can see the difference between this. And then there's back to the not-so-barefoot mode.
Yeah, I couldn't even hear you barefoot.
That's scary.
Well, your radio's only doing, what, half-watt key, 5 watts peaks?
Yeah, maybe 6-watt peaks and about a 3/4-watt key, about.
Okay, yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. About 3/4 of a watt on the key and 5 or 6 watts, peak watts.
Yeah, no, that's a good, happy way to run stuff. You know, everything seems to run pretty well. Nothing is straining very hard. My carrier is not even quite at 200 watts. Normally I run it down about 130, but for some reason it's up a little. Oh, maybe it's road noise I'm looking at. Anyway, it's sitting at about just shy of 200 watts right now.
Yeah, 10-4. Yeah, I got about a 50-watt dead key and swinging to about 350, 375.
Yeah, about the same ratio. Very cool.
Yeah, 10-4. Usually find that it sounds clean. You know, I can push it further, but then it starts to get a little bit dirty.
Yeah, I think those extra few watts don't make a big difference. You know, got to quadruple the power, both in carrier and peaks, to get a full S unit increase. And I can't do that in this mobile, so no point in trying, you know.
Yeah, I agree. That's exactly what it is. I mean, you get that full S unit, you got to quadruple, and I can't do it in this truck. And you know, and I also found sometimes when you run them a little bit hotter than they should, you actually lose some of the punch and some of the loudness.
Yep, I think so. Let's see here. When I come to a stop, I'll know what my dead key actually is. Again, up to Betaravia right now, so we'll see what happens since the light's red. And we'll see what this meter drops down to without any background noise. Ooh, yeah, 200 watts. It really is at 200 watts.
Okay, now let me turn my RF gain all the way open it up and see if you got any forward swing with that big old dead key.
All right, let's see here what happens. And I'm going to go ahead and pull off the side of the road for just a second so I can drop that dead key down a little bit after we do this test. But there's 200 watts, and there's modulation right there.
Yeah, you know, you're just basically sitting at 10 over, you know, just 10 over 9, and the needle's trying to move a little bit, but it really isn't.
Let me drop it down here. There we go. That's where I normally run it, about 170 watts or so of dead key, and yeah, it should still be about the same, but probably gives it a little bit more of a open sound, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that actually sounds a lot better. Yeah, it was starting to sound a little bit tight, but it definitely opened up, and the needle's moving a little bit more, but not much.
Just for fun, I'll go down lower. Let's see what happens here. There's a 100-watt dead key right there. 100-watt dead key right there, right now.
Yeah, it's starting to get it's right on the edge of getting a little bit dirty. It still sounds really good, just not quite as clean.
All right. Bring it back to 170 again. Leave her there. That's a good spot for it.
Yeah, and I really couldn't see any difference on the meter either. You know, I think it might be because we're so close. You know, you're going to see a little more swing at further away, but yeah, it sounds really good right there.
Right, Joe. Yeah, it's not worth eating up all that dynamic headroom to get that little extra power, you know. It just affects the envelope too much. And the envelope is fairly precious, you know.
Yeah, 10-4. So it's about quality, not quantity.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Did you say this radio sounded pretty good in your mobile over there today?
Sounds awesome. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, nothing weird going on. Now you're not off Betarabia. It's a cooler on Betarabia, right? You're on Stoll, right?
Yeah, Stoll and Blosser.
Yeah, okay. Wow, you are strong over here. It's amazing.
Yeah, 10-4. Yeah, it's I did a little bit of changing around, you know, some of the things. I got that patch cable, you know, that I was telling you I was going to get for running from the interface to the back of the radio. And finally got a longer one. That way I got my interface mounted where I want it, and things are neatened up. You know, it's not all jury-rigged and weird. But, yeah, I couldn't wait for it. Of course, I had to get it up and running. But I finally got that in there. And it's a better one anyway. It's 100% shielded, which is pretty important in here. And so it should, you know, if I was getting any buzzing or humming or anything weird going on from the other cable, and this one should help out a little bit better.
It sounds absolutely 100% perfect. The audio, the tonal balance, the whole thing sounds like a great big base station that is working to 100% perfection. That's what it sounds like. Just amazing.
10-4. Yeah, a really good deal. I'm still, you know, the tune that I was on last time, I did a little revision of that one. I did some subtle changes. It's pretty close to the same, but it sounded a little bit off to me on the gate, so I just kind of moved a little bit around and kind of hoping that balanced it out a little bit.
Oh yeah, it's perfectly balanced. There's somebody out there throwing a carrier or trying to key on you. I'm not sure who that is or what that is. Can you tell what that is? Maybe it's somebody trying to play a Watergate back, but it sounds so horrible I can't tell. Anyway, there's somebody out there.
Aggressive because of an enlarged medulla oblongata. It's the stuck to the brain which controls aggressive behavior.
That is correct. The medulla oblongata. The medulla oblongata.
What the hell is that?
Is where...
Okay, somebody's keying up and playing something. I don't know what it is.
I don't know. It just started keying up and started playing whatever it is. I don't know if it's the Three Stooges skit or what.
All right. Let's hear what Mama has to say on the subject. Mama said it.
Oh, I think it's somebody getting butthurt that we're having a conversation about radio on the CB radio instead of talking about BS. Oh, well.
Motor mouth. I don't know if I'm getting over whoever's doing that, but I can't hear anything that Hedgerodyne when the key and whatever that guy is playing.
I think it's...
Yeah, he's tearing it up pretty good. I can barely hear you. But I hear you. I can tell you're keying up, and I can hear about, probably 20% of what you're saying. But yeah, he's deliberately all bummed out and butthurt probably because we're actually talking about radio on the radio instead of some meaningless BS, you know, farting or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, your radio sounds great there, Bobby. I don't know if that carrier is gone or not.
Yeah, it's gone. I think it was AK.
Who is that?
Probably that guy up in Napomo. I think nobody's right. Nobody said it might have been AK-47. I don't know. I don't know why they're just playing that instead of talking on the radio.
I don't either. He does that all the time. Plays police stuff and all that stuff. I don't understand it either.
There's always somebody in the crowd.
Yep, absolutely. Oh, well, anyway. I could actually hear you not really good, but I could hear you enough to understand everything you were saying. But it made a pretty good dent in the quality of the audio there, Greg.
Yeah, when you're talking about when I was trying to key over him?
Yeah.
Yeah, 10-4. I think I'm closer to him than you are to me, and all I can hear was him and Hedgerodyne when you were keying.
Yeah, I'm way out here in the boonies again. I'm back at Dominion Road and Foxton Canyon, so taking the long way around to the ranch here.
10-4. Hey, Mr. Nobody, it sounds like you got that amp turned on, man. You sound excellent.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, I knew I wasn't going to make it through, and I don't know if I did or not, because I was trying to let you guys know that he was about a solid 10 over here, so, and that's, I don't know, that's usually what I get over here.
Are you talking about on my radio?
Oh, no, just that guy that was keying up.
Okay. Now, what am I putting the normal amount I'm putting on you from this spot over here?
Yeah, you're 10 over. Sound great?
Okay. Yeah, it's weird because I'm not that far from where I was last time, but I was in between those buildings and that just killed everything.
Oh, yeah. That'll do that every time, you know it.
Are you on the big blue box there, Mark?
No, I'm just running the 667.
Oh, Roger, okay.
That's what I'm running.
I'm running twice that, so a whopping 3 dB difference, half an S unit, but I'm way out here in the boonies.
Still sounding good.
Augie's probably wondering where I went.
How is Augie? He's getting up there in age, isn't he?
He'll be 8 years old November 14th.
Okay, well, how long do those dogs live for? What, 12, 14 years or something?
What's that?
How long do those dogs live for?
Well, he's a runt, so he may live longer, but generally they're probably, 12 years is an old one, 11, 12, 13 is probably pretty old, but he's a smaller dog. He's kind of a runt, so I would imagine he might get an extra year or two out of the, above the average.
10-4. Yeah, he's a good boy. I remember meeting him a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's supposed to be like 120 pounds, Typical Anatolian Shepherd or Great Pyrenees, either one, are pretty good-sized dogs. And he made it to 80 pounds, and that's it. So he's a runt, but he's a good runt.
Yeah, 10-4. Yeah, I think you're right, though. A little less mass, I think they live longer.
Yeah, I think it's easier on their heart, probably easier on the hips. I know the day may come where he's going to suffer from dysplasia, that's a horrible thing. A lot of dogs get that when they get older, but primarily shepherds and whatnot, but oh yeah. Yeah, I think the lower body weight will probably ultimately be helpful to him in the long run.
Yeah, 10-4. Well, that's good. That's a good deal.
Well, I'm driving down my dirt road and headed to the base, so I can. I'll probably stop transmitting here shortly because this wipes out the SDR receiver.
Yeah, 10-4. Yeah, it's a lot of power up that close.
What's funny is the AGC starts working weird. It starts picking up like noises, almost like there's too much mic gain when there really isn't. I mean, the microphone gain and all that doesn't change when I get farther, but the quality of everything that it records is a lot better. And once I start getting within about a mile and a half or a mile away and start getting closer in, it starts getting real, sound like I got everything turned up way too high, and it's all weird because of the way the AGC starts working. But yeah, it's one of the drawbacks to a flex, or I should say an SDR type receiver.
Yeah, 10-4. Yeah, when I was listening to that gate, I could hear exactly what you're talking about. But it definitely wasn't out here. I couldn't hear it in my receive out here, but yeah, I could definitely hear it on the gate.
Yep. Tomorrow I'll get my landings on my stairs done at the bottom with some pavers. I already bought the pavers today. Tomorrow I'll get them lined up and installed, and I'll get my inspection on the stairs done and the gas line done, and see where the next step goes. But anyway, I'm making good progress on the house.
That's good to hear. It's starting to come around now.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it couldn't happen quick enough, but it's taken a long time. I'm learning a lot about patience.
Yeah, it's always fun learning patience, right?
Oh, yeah. All right, right, I'm going to unkey for a bit. I'll catch you from the base in just a few minutes.
Yeah, 10-4.
Trip.
Yes?
We've got AK-47 knucklehead.
He lives straight across the way from me, Turtle. Little catty corner. Just before you get to Taft, he'd be on the right-hand side. He's got all kinds of antennas sticking up. You can see it.
Oh, that same old idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was doing that when Copperhead and Bear were talking yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know if that was him or not, because the signal wasn't as strong as it was today. And, I'm not sure it was him yesterday. I think it might have been just a unhappy trucker at the truck stop or something. I don't know.
I don't know. Hitting me at the same as yesterday. So anyway, yeah, they were trying to interfere there. Knucklehead.
Yeah, I didn't have any problem hearing either one of you, so you or Bear, so it's a crying shame they got to do that. I mean, geez, for what reason they want to play recordings instead of just talking?
No brain, no pain.
That's it. Go ahead, break.
And 10-4, Copperhead. I appreciate you keying up. I'm barely getting in, but I did catch most of that, and I appreciate the key down. And it was good hearing you. I barely heard you last time I was here for a minute, but glad you keyed up. And so always a pleasure to talk to you, Copperhead. And you have a good rest of your afternoon.
Yeah, why are you barefoot, Copperhead? What the heck? All righty then. Shoot, yeah. Well, it's good to hear you out there, Copperhead. And have a great day. Roger. As long as you had fun, that's all that counts. my partner and I, we ended up in third place, so I guess we didn't do too bad. Oh, yeah. Well, good deal. Heck yeah. All righty. Okay, I'll back on out here and take a standby and just listen for a little bit. You have the rest of a good day, you guys. Old Copperhead is out.
And I'm back on the base, so we'll see if it works for a little bit. Bobby Boucher, hello. Copperhead, nobody, everybody, Motormouth, I'm all stepping right there right now.
Mr. Motorhead, Motormouth Mall Motorhead. Old 80s reference to a band. Yeah, you jumped right in there.
Is my bass as strong as the mobile, or is the mobile stronger?
I think because of the antenna on your bass. You sound better on the bass as far as the clarity, because it's not as staticky. So I would say you're actually probably getting out a little bit better. But let me turn my RF gain all the way up and hit me again and see what we get.
All right, there you go. There's the bass, and of course I don't have the big box on. I wouldn't do that on 28. But this is just a 5/8 wave ground plane, and we're dead keying 135 watts ish.
Okay. Yeah, you're sitting right at 9S units, and so your mobile was hitting me harder, but your audio on your bass is louder, if that makes sense. And it's definitely cleaning up some of the background. So, yeah, what is that 10 over? That's 6 or 10 dB over, so it's a little over an S unit. More on the mobile, but not as loud and clear.
Roger. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I was curious to see how that worked out. Anyway, yeah, we're loafing things along over here at the base, and I don't know why, but it seems like the audio. I don't have my scope turned on. I might have the audio turned down here a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about it.
No, it sounds excellent. Crystal clear, really clean. It's dense. It's heavy. It sounds perfect. I like it.
Roger. Yeah, not too shabby. So 9S units versus 10 over 9. And, yeah. Well, I'll be listening to this gate when you listen to it, unless I listen to it beforehand. But I'll upload this to YouTube and Facebook later tonight.
Yeah, 10-4. Hey, real quick, if you wouldn't mind looking, I'll hold a dead key, and if you wouldn't mind seeing what frequency am I on?
Oh, the dead key went away before I had a chance to get my hand on the mouse.
Yeah, 10-4. I'll hold it.
It still says 27,284.8 according to my stuff, and my carrier is down here at 27,284.7, actually .75. So you're a little higher up than I am. Oh, I hear somebody. What the heck is that? Oh, that's my RF gremlin coming in here because we're on channel 28.
10-4. Okay, so it's showing I'm still about 200 hertz below.
Yes, sir.
That's interesting. I thought I went up higher than that because I was 280 hertz below, and according to that meter I was using, I went up almost 200 hertz. So, oh well, it's probably close enough.
A weird thing just happened. I was in receive mode, looking at your signal, set at 27.284. I was not touching the mouse, and somehow or another, the frequency changed from 27.284.8 to 284.850. That was weird.
So it went up 50 hertz?
No, my receive tuned frequency, not your stuff. My end that I have to adjust with the mouse. It changed by 50 hertz, and I don't know how it did that.
Okay, yeah, that is weird. Shouldn't do that. I mean, not unless you manually change it, right?
Right. I have to actually take action to make that happen, and it changed before my very eyes from .8 to .850. It was really weird. It was on the water gate, but of course you couldn't see that my hand wasn't on the mouse. Oh, there's that little RF gremlin getting back in there again. Anyway, I should not be on this frequency. I'm not tuned up for here. Let me go turn off the amplifier.
At 10-4.
This will put me in mud duck mode. I mean, really mud duck mode, but I did turn off the little amplifier.
Yeah, 10-4. Yeah, I'm barely getting you in, but I can hear you.
Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch over to a different receiver, but this time I'm going to turn off the SDR so that we don't have to hear that heterodyne, and I want to record you off of the Cobra 29LX.
Yeah, I heard that heterodyne. That was you?
Yeah, that was me. That was the SDR. I'm going to change frequency right now here, 27.025. There we go. Now we're not on the same frequency. And, yeah, that was some weird stuff. And I don't know why exactly that was doing what it was doing. But this is doing some weird stuff, too. I'm seeing, well, it's because of severe front-end overload. Anyway, don't don't pay any attention to what you see on the spectrum or on the pen adapter right now when you watch the video gate. You're going to see that at 27.028 or so, there's a carrier that goes away, and then one side of it appears to be modulated as I talk. And that's not really happening. That's kind of funky looking. Anyway, I'm recording you now off the 29LX.
Yeah, 10-4. Yeah, I think it was actually doing the same thing last time we made that gate. The last time I was here, there was a weird on the lower sideband. There was a peak coming up in there with my transmission, and it was also doing it on other people's transmissions as well.
What was it doing? I just realized I had something turned wrong. I couldn't hear you because I turned off the flex radio. I had to turn over to my 29 receiver on the board. So I did that and finally got there by the time you unkeyed.
Okay. Yeah, what I was saying, I think last time I was here and you gated, we did that gate, that peak was in there on the lower sideband. It wasn't really up on the upper sideband, it was mainly on the lower, and it was coming up in there with the transmission on mine, but it was also doing it on other people's audio too. So, yeah, I wasn't really sure what that was.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was either. I think it's an anomaly more than something that was actually happening. Yeah, I'm not really sure what to make of that.
Yeah, 10-4. It didn't seem like it was affecting the audio. It was just kind of there.
Yeah, 10-4. Interesting. Well, anyway, I don't like doing the gates this way, by the way. I'm having a hard time getting used to listening to things the way I'm listening to them. So I'm going to switch over back to normal mode, barefoot, and then I'll end the gate with that particular audio.
Yeah, 10-4.
There, back to 27.285 and receiving off of the flex. And unless you want me to change any bandwidths for any reasons, I can just end the gate where it is. But if you want me to change the bandwidth or something like that so you can hear under different bandwidth conditions what it's doing, by all means, I'll do that for you.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. What is the standard bandwidth of the average radio? I mean, I know I can hear, and most people can hear, up to 5 kilohertz. It's not as pronounced and clean and clear as a 6K receive or something like that, wideband receive, but I pretty much cater towards just the standard bandwidth radios.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll switch it over. I've been at 10 kilohertz the whole time, so I'll start at 10 and I'll work my way down during your next transmission, and then you can hear the differences. And then I'll stop where I think it sounds the best other than 10.
Yeah, 10.4. All right, yeah, it'd be interesting to hear going from 10K wide, which is definitely not the average receive that most people are hearing the audio, but 10K wide down to 8 and 7, 6, 5, 4. I know that most receive filters are 3K filters, or at least this one is in this radio, but it'll still, the roll-off isn't real steep. I mean, it still goes out a ways, and I can definitely hear 5K for sure. But it'd be interesting to hear the difference there.
Surprisingly enough, 3.1K sounded... the others, you could hear the high frequencies going away as I went from 8 to 6.6 to 5.2 to 4 to 3.1 down to 2.9. You can hear the high frequencies going away, but the tonal balance. Now, keep in mind, though, on this receiver, when it switches from different IF stages, it only affects the high frequencies. The lows still go down to the same point. It's not a band pass. So I don't know that it can simulate, it won't simulate what you hear on a regular CB radio, because when I go down to like 3.1K, there's still a lot of bass in there that would normally be rolled off. And so that wasn't happening. But you'll hear it. I thought it actually sounded pretty tonally balanced on my receiver at 3.1K, and then again really good at 10K. You could hear the S's going away at 8 and 6 and 5.2 and 4, and then at 2.9 it was worse. But at 3.1 it was surprisingly decent.
Yeah, 10.4. Yeah, you're right. You're not band passing, you're only low passing, so it's only rolling off the highs. Everybody's radio is, the bandwidth is the bandwidth. The lows and the highs are rolled off to narrow it up, and a standard 3-phase filter in a typical radio. So I do understand what you're saying. So it's not exactly a replication of what it would sound like on a standard radio, but it's still interesting to hear.
Yeah, 10.4. Yeah, that was cool. I did it again during that transmission. You could hear various different examples and listen to it when you get to when you get time to look at it on the internet there. So anyway, I'm going to stop this gate because it looks like it's 50. I can't tell if it's 58 or 50. Anyway, it's like 50. It'll change in a second. We'll go to 1. Yeah, 51 minutes long. So that's probably enough.
Yeah, 10.4. Yeah, it's a good gate.
Sure. All right, sounds good. So the gate's stopping, and happy to be able to record you.
Now, on your setup, when you're going on the 5/8, now what are you using? Are you using a different amplifier than what